Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. Let's take a look at the market real quick. So, after this, initial couple week flush, we're right back at a yearly highs. I would anticipate we'd probably get some type of resistance around this area. So, I'm anticipating some chopper consolidation in this coming week. Now, in this particular market, that type of playbook hasn't necessarily worked. When the markets face resistance, often we've just kind of blown past it. So, be prepared for upside also. But the playbook says, most likely we'll chop around in this area as we consolidate and work off our overbought condition as we are really getting extended. This is one of the, the, the higher velocity moves that we've seen in the past year. If you're looking at some of the other indices, they've just bowled right through. Nasdaq's at highs. Russell is trailing behind, but still pretty strong over here. So my thing is that we'll probably consolidate. When that happens, be really careful with your technical setups. Look for stocks that have had some type of recent catalyst, earnings, PRs. That'll give it some type of independent order flow that will run irregardless of the markets. Now, on the other side of things, one of the things that does happen when you do get flat markets is you'll start to see a lot of small caps really perk up too. So keep a bunch of those on your watch list. Let's take a look at my watch list for the week. Well, not for the week, for tomorrow. OPTT. You know what? We've consolidated now for 3 days at this level. It just, for the life of it, can't really break under that 460 level and hold. And so, this one might have some potential upside to it. My bias on this thing is short. This thing's a turd, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one more big squeeze in this before it dies down. YOD, right? Same type of situation as OPTT. After that huge thrust, rather than collapsing, it's just started to flag and consolidate, which tells me, that this stock probably has another push before it dies down. CRME, I got this on a watch for a rubber band short also. This thing's been up for 8-9 days. So, watch this open. You want to see really a strong push at the open before you start thinking about shorting this bad boy. TRMB, this one is really, it's at a lid on that 37.50 zone on it. It looks like, it should be able to push, sometime on Tuesday. You can see here if you're looking at 3-day chart, right? This zone has just been consolidating here for the last 3 days. So I would anticipate this week that this thing's going to push over this level and really take it. LSCC, one of my students had sent this to me. This one looks pretty good for a rubber band short also. If it makes another big push in the AM off the bat on Tuesday, I'll be looking at this one for a potential quick short. DDD. Right after this monster run, a big collapse here and earnings blow up. It looks like we've had a fairly low volume, kind of dead cat bounce. We've filled the gap here. I'd anticipate somewhere in this area, we want to start monitoring on shorter time frames to look for a potential short on this bad boy. Twitter, same thing, right? After this earnings beatdown, we've just grinded higher and higher back to the 50-day moving average. I would anticipate some downside off of this. If we spike up one more time, I'll be looking at this one for potential short. HCNP, this is a biotech stock, but just flagging here around the 10 spot, looking for a push higher on this. KNDI, I like the location on this as long as it can hold 13. That seems to be the floor on this stock. If we start to see a good intraday setup, we'll have a pretty defined base on this where we can put our stop loss and manage our risk. SEMO, after that monster push, we spent about 2 weeks just flagging out here. I think that this one goes higher also. Same thing with MWW. This one's going to need a few more days most likely, but it just won't give anything back. And so that tells me this one's got another push on it also. YRCW, after this initial push, we've come back to support, right? 20 is a big level of support here, and we're starting to perk off this thing. I think this one's getting ready to break out and come make a run to 25. Glue. Nice 1 week consolidation here. This low is holding up. You can see this 5 level seems to be a pretty important spot. Watch for a push over that to really take this thing and bring in some buyers. SCYM. After the big run here to 13, it hit resistance and it's pulled all the way back to support here. Looking for a potential bounce this week if it can start gaining some traction. We should see a run back to the 12 or 13 area. And then XON, after this really just big run, this is a biotech stock, it's just kind of slowly grinded its way back. We'll be watching anywhere from 27 to 26. Watch this for a potential turnaround. You can see it's really its nearest level of resistance is 30 and then $32. It's got some potential upside to bounce if we can start to see on shorter time frames some semblance of a reversal. But that's it for now. Pretty short watch list. And then, of course, in the morning, what I always do is I scan the news wires, PR wires for earnings plays, earnings breakdowns, earnings breakouts, anything along that end. During this season, those tend to be the best plays, and their order flow will be independent of whatever's going on in the market. So you get a stock with a big gap down on earnings and it missed earnings. You're often going to see some follow through on the downside, at least on an intraday basis, that you'll be able to play. So that's it for now, guys. I will see everybody in the chat room tomorrow. Peace.